We're in live. Apparently, we're live. So,
Are we?
yeah. So, it never did. I didn't end the live stream. So, we are live here at PRI tonight. Day one is in the books. Very, very, very eventful day today. We've got Stephen Blakesley. For everybody that doesn't know, that's who's joining me on here tonight.
Are we?
Yeah, I'm going to double check, make sure. Yep, we are live.
Awesome.
So, it's been an awesome day for the Tri-State Pro Stock. It's been an awesome day for all of us with Speed Union. My fat ass has walked about 10 miles today, so that's first off. We started off, I rolled in here about 2:30 this morning, slept about 4 hours, and then we were at breakfast with Tony Stewart and Ralph Shaheen. Steven's got a funny story. He was telling my wife about it earlier. It was priceless. Tell us about Tony Stewart there this morning, because that was pretty awesome.
Oh, well, he was just giving his wife all kinds of grief about her cooking and I don't know. He was being just a little bit rough on his wife, but then he was also going through all the history of his career, and Ralph went and interviewed all of Tony's friends from the past with Greg Zipadelli and all the people from Hoosier Tire and stuff, and basically it was a lot of stories where Tony concluded at the end. He said, I don't know why you're using me as an example for this PRI for these young drivers, because he's kind of been the wild man in his career, but nonetheless, it was really cool having him there, and got us off to a good start today, Roy.
Right. And then after that, I got to meet and actually talk to him. That was the highlight of the trip for me so far, getting to meet him and do all that. He's kind of one of those people that's there. We saw Natalie Decker tonight. We went to the Save Our Racetrack rallies at Lucas Oil Stadium. That was the free food, great speakers. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, well, and we were inside a stadium that has held the Super Bowl. I mean, that's pretty cool, right? And free food, like you said, and lots of cool people to see. Got to talk with Lyle Hopper for a long time during that one. So that was a good end to a very busy day. We started at about 6:45 a.m. Eastern time, and then we ended at about 6:45 p.m. Eastern time. So it was a 12-hour day here at PRI, but lots of talking to potential sponsors and partners, and just kind of sharing with people here at PRI that are from literally all over the world about what we're doing in California and Oregon with Speed Union TV and Tri-State and Medford and all the different groups that we work for, and kind of just putting it on the radar of what we're doing, and sharing what they might not know about. And part of why we made Speed Union was so that more people could learn about this kind of racing.
Right. And that's something that we've talked about on our show periodically. The West Coast is kind of on an island. We're not in the Midwest and we're not in the East Coast where racing is. So we've been over here and we've shook hands with, I'd say, 150 people today, met people, handed out business cards. We have some follow-up things. I know we're meeting, doing some follow-ups afterwards with BP Race Fuels. Who else did we? Scoggin Dickey Chevrolet out of the Lubbock, Texas area. Oh, that's just to name a couple right out there. We did some talking with My Race Pass today. We went to a promoters roundtable in the Tops Lounge over there. Met with some people from World of Outlaws, several tracks all over the nation. Got some good feedback from them. Met with Dave Hammond from Hammond Motorsports. We did a live video with him this morning. Man, I can't even tell you all the people we talked to today. I can't remember.
Well, we were casting a really wide net, and we're far from done. So hard to really say all the names of everyone because nothing's done yet. But although I will say we did get one deal completely done, and that is for the Tri-State Pro Stocks. We will have a contingency from Scribner Plastics.
Yes.
And so they'll be doing probably some fuel jugs and some funnels and stuff. So we'll be giving those out throughout the year for Tri-State. So I want to thank Chris and Rick Scribner for that from Rancho Cordova, California. So we did get one deal completely done, but I'd say we've got. I'd be real optimistic that for all the tracks and series that we kind of have our hands on with Speed Union, that we'll probably end up with about 6 to 8, maybe 10 different companies that are going to help join what we're all doing and try to rise the tides together and keep growing this thing.
Right. We're meeting with Speedway Motors tomorrow to do some follow up with them. PEM. I know Lyle's mentioned it. We're gonna for the Tri-State Pro Stock. Your champion this year is getting a brand new quick change rear end, courtesy of PEM. So that's another thing that we picked up. So everybody that's racing, your points leader gets a brand new quick change rear end. That's about a $2,300 value on top of it. We've been working with Pyrotech. I'm going to try to meet with Zamp helmets, things like that. K1. You talked to a couple of people that we need to follow up with tomorrow. There, we're laying the groundwork with some big stuff. Like I said, we have a big meeting with Hoosier Tires marketing division on Saturday morning. Hopefully, bring some stuff from Hoosier there. We're meeting with VP Race Fuels. Thanks Joe Mattioli and Ed Renzi for the hookup with the connection there. That was a very solid lead this morning that I think is going to do big dividends as well.
Yeah, like I said, we're casting a really wide net, and we're not going into this event like thinking that we have all the answers. We're doing a lot of talking, but also a lot of listening, and they're asking questions and we're asking questions. And that's where, I have done a lot of my marketing over the years of calls and emails. And maybe I've discounted PRI as like, let's spend a week in Indy. Why are we doing this? But now when you get here, you can, having that conversation with someone is really valuable. And so I think today was a lot about just getting a lay of the land, and then tomorrow some more important conversations, and then of course some big ones on Saturday. So it's just a really special event. I think the thing you can't really put a number on is how big this event will really pump you up for anything you're doing with racing. It makes you have a lot of pride to be a part of it. Like I said, the event tonight was an advocacy event. They talked about in the morning breakfast the value of the PRI as a whole. $9 billion worth of business takes place with businesses that are members of PRI. Another 30 billion from SEMA, so 40 billion with these businesses. So you start to realize, like, we're doing our little thing with Speed Union, and we're growing, and we like to say how small we are, but we're a small part of something that's really big, and maybe we can bring it and make it even bigger for our little small part this season.
Yeah, and didn't that lady said it brings in what 70 million for this week right here in this area?
Yeah, for Indianapolis, for this area. So every bit of 30,000 people were here today, from what I heard, and then it gets busier the next 2 days. And like I said, I personally would hesitate on saying sponsors yet, but we got a lot of cool things in the works, and everything that we're going to do, it always starts off with how can it help the racer. So it's a combo of what can they do to raise the profile of these tracks, how can they help us make Speed Union better, and how can they help the racer. And it seems like there's already 10 or 15 businesses that would be good candidates for that. So promising and exciting.
Yep. Hey, Jerry Stewart. Hey, my wife there, Amy. Davey Munoz, how you doing? Ron Crisafulli, how you doing, buddy? But yeah, we just wanted to give you a highlight and talk a little bit about what it is. I am telling you, I walked entirely too much today. Stephen can laugh. I was dressed nice today, so you don't get to see the really dressed nice. We just did a regular shirt, but I was not dressed this way today. We were representing the West Coast well. It has been a total blast over here so far, and I don't know what tomorrow is going to hold. At least I'll have some sleep before we hit it tomorrow.
Yeah, it doesn't start until 9 a.m. tomorrow, so we get to sleep in a little bit and then really get after it. I think tomorrow is going to be the meat of it. So, hey to Joey Stearns, and by the way, just had a really long call with the Coonfields. They were just as busy as we were with their Legends Tour series, and we kind of never really connected. They were zooming, I was zooming. So there's a lot of friends of the West Coast here. Ran into folks like Mike Nate today from the West Coast. We got to run into Rico Abreu, who isn't running on the West Coast very much.
Brad Sweet, Peter Murphy.
Yep. So a lot of West Coast people, and then a lot of new people as well. So pretty special day. 1 down, 2 to go here from Indianapolis, the center of the racing world at PRI.
Awesome. And thank you guys, and we'll give you updates tomorrow. You may see an early afternoon post tomorrow when we get done over there. I'm not sure, but I know Thursday night we're going to talk about it. And I'm 3 hours ahead of y'all so it's 5:30 back there when we started. So it's an early start this week for the guys on the West Coast.
So we got dinner tomorrow with Fred Ryland. That'll be fun. Of course, Fred Ryland, if you're If you're looking for something to do in the off season, February 11th and 12th will be our Race Logic Chassis School at Fred Ryland Racing. We'll have Dave Hammond there. We'll have Avco Shocks there, and we'll have Fred there. If you want to learn how to set up a sport modified, the passes are for sale right now at speeduniontv.com, and they are limited to only 50 seats. We've already had a couple of really cool people that you've seen race on speeduniontv.com buy those passes. So you want to be a part of that cool crowd, kind of our own little West Coast PRI. You can do that with the Sport Mod gang over there at Ryland Racing, February 11th and 12th. So a big reminder on that as well.
Yeah, and I will tell you this much. Stay tuned to Up on the Bar. Stay tuned to Speed Union. Stay tuned to Tri-State Pro Stocks. I think you're going to see some very large announcements coming out in the next couple of weeks. Can't go into very many details, but there's a ton of things in the works, and I can't wait to announce some of it. So
yeah, I think between all the different things that have been signed or are about to be signed and the stuff happening today, I mean, we could end up with upwards of 10 different announcements in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So can't wait for it.
Yeah. And yeah, it was just nice to come over here and finally put a name to a face, and people can shake your hand. And now I'm not that hillbilly from Oregon calling them out of the blue. It's like, hey, I know what that guy, I know who he is. And it was actually, this is something I'm going to say. I kind of dreaded coming here because we talk to these people on the phone periodically. We're always through LinkedIn, Facebook, all this other stuff. I didn't have a bad experience with anybody we dealt with today anywhere. Nobody looked down their nose. Nobody did anything. The reception here was amazing.
Well, we all have one thing in common, and Tony Stewart and Ralph Shaheen at the breakfast kept calling us this. We're all racers. I mean, I don't race a car, but even people in the industry, everyone involved here, we all have one thing in common. We're all racers. And you know, they have all over all the signs and the stickers that says racers only, members only. Like we got the pro member pass here. So we all have a common thread of wanting to see this whole thing succeed and seeing these businesses grow. And that's what we're trying to do. And at the same time, make it more fun for the racers. So, all right. Yeah, Amy, we're using our new microphones. If we bump into some of our West Coast friends tomorrow, we may do a couple of little videos on the phone with these microphones. We might try to bump into Rico or the Coopfields. We still got to dial it in a little bit, but you might get a little bonus content. Maybe we'll have to get Fred or something, Fred Ryland. But anyway, we got more content to come, but it's probably just about going to wrap it up for us.
Right. And that's, like I said, can't say enough about how cool this adventure was. And actually, I got to go back and highlight something because we met some. We sat down at breakfast this morning, and Deering, whatever his first name is.
Are you talking about Tom Deary?
Tom Deary, yeah. Sat down, introduced us, and said, hey, start shaking hands with everybody at the table. We sat down with out of the blue people that we didn't know from wherever. And we met two guys that are doing a motorsports marketing school in North Carolina.
Yeah, the Belmont Abbey College, and they have a motorsports management major. And we kind of talked about, well, do you involve broadcasting in that? And they said, yeah, we have a minor in broadcasting that goes with it. And they're working on making a master's program. And a couple of guys that were in the management at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but were graduates of Belmont Abbey, are now trying to push that program. So literally, we were sitting at the table with people from Charlotte, North Carolina. So there were people from everywhere. And the other guys at the table, they were pretty quiet. I looked at their badges. They were from Troyer. So those are like big block modified guys from the Northeast. So you had, you know, college professors from North Carolina, big block guys from the Northeast. You know, the older guys were real quiet. I didn't see what their badges said. You know, I'm kind of an asphalt guy maybe, and then you're the truck and dirt guy with your pink pro stock.
Yeah, exactly. So hey, Brent Kuehl, Brent Kuehl, he has Drive for Diabetes Awareness, and his daughter just chimed in there. She is going to be one of the youngest brand new Iditarod people in the junior Iditarod. And I read her story that she posted up. She's never been in temperatures below 30 degrees living in Florida. So now she's going to go out there and ride across the tundra in Alaska. She's a lot braver than I am, lady. Oh my God. A whole lot more brave.
Incredible.
So, all right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for checking it out, and be watching because we'll probably have some more content up over the week. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.